Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Srimati Ramanjaya Namaha. Today is the Tirunakshatram, or the birth star of Lord Sriranganatha. Lord Sriranganatha is the first ever idol form of the Supreme Lord that descended on this earth. His birth star is Revati. Typically, Ugadi or the New Year, we celebrate when the birth star Revati is there, we celebrate as the birthday of Lord Sriranganatha. So we are all fortunate that according to the lunar calendar, whatever we follow, he blesses us every time during this occasion of New Year through his birthday. It is mentioned in the Puranas. Now, if any one of you have any problems with Puranas or idol worship, you can drop off here. This is not about arguments or discussions. Okay, I would request no arguments. Puranas, right? A lot of people make fun of Puranas. Pura api nava iti. That's what Purana means. It's old, really old, but it's still new. Okay. Some people consider the stories of Puranas as examples. I don't. I consider them as those things that have happened. So again, if you have any problems, you can drop off. Pura api nava iti Puranas. Puranas state that, so the mention of Lord Sriranganatha is there in Puranas as well as Itihasas. Now, a lot of people don't even know what is Purana and what is Itihasa. They use the term mythology, right? Whether it's Ramayana, whether it's Vishnu Purana, whatever, mythology. Itihasa means history. Ramayana and Mahabharata are our Itihasas. And there are Puranas like Vishnu Purana, the first ever Purana, to Srimad Bhagavatam, right? They are describing the greatness and the various aspects and the various forms of the Supreme Lord. So when Brahma was creating these worlds, when he saw the Lord in that reclining form through whose navel Brahma came out, Brahma said, I just want to behold your beautiful form before my eyes always. After seeing you, I don't wish turning my attention towards this creation. That's when the Lord, he offers himself. He creates an idol, exactly a replica of his form that Brahma saw that day at the beginning of the creation. And he gives it as a gift to Lord Brahma. Brahma worships that. And through Brahma, it was gifted to the ancestors of Lord Rama. And finally, Rama worshipped the same Narayana. You should read Valmiki Ramayana. It is mentioned nowhere that Rama worshipped anyone except Lord Narayana only. His Kuladevata or his family god, Lord Narayana. It is mentioned that that same Ranganatha is worshipped by Rama. In the Ayodhya Kanda, it is mentioned that when Rama is being crowned as the prince, Vashishta asks him to do some prayers, puja, right? And then he does this. Today now, idol worship, there are lots of these, people who have kind of condemned idol worship, thinking that they know Vedas, right? Of the recent Neo-Vedantins, right? So they don't even understand. First of all, in Ramayana, Itihasa itself, Rama, if you believe in Rama, he himself did idol worship. I'll come to idol worship more, okay? In the context of Lord Ranganatha, the first idol of Lord. This is the birth of that great Lord. To the Vaishnavas, to the Sri Vaishnavas, there's none beyond Sri Ranganatha. Sri Ranganatha of Srirangam, he is considered to be Paramatma himself, and after him only any other deity is worshipped. He's the Periya Perumal, or the biggest Lord, right? So these are the shlokas from Valmiki Ramayana. Gate purohite Ramaha snato niyatamanasah sahapatnya vishalakshya Narayanamupagamat. So Rama, after Vashishta instructed him and left, he took his bath and then he offered his prayers to Lord Narayana. Pragrihya Shirasa Patram Havisho Vidhivattada Mahate Devata Yajyam Juhava Jwalitanale. So Rama offered oblations into the fire through the sacred Vedic chants and through it to that Lord Narayana. So in the Vishishtadvaita philosophy of Sri Ramanuja, he explains 5 forms of the Supreme Lord. 5. And he gives highest importance to the Archavatara, the idol worship. A lot of people nowadays, some of them think that, idol worship is a means to an end of reaching some nothingness, right? Nothing, you become nothing, right? I mean, Vishishtadvaita doesn't consider it. And there are a lot of these, nowadays, these people who claim to be gurus, right? Who don't understand ABC of Itihasas, who haven't read Itihasas, they claim that they haven't read Gita, right? Nothing. And they sit and say, I am everything. If you want to consider that, yes, that's a philosophy, I respect it, fine, leave it, right? But you don't say that Vishishtadvaita is actually on those lines. I'll talk about Vishishtadvaita, what it means sometime later, because nobody understands, right? There is this word that special monism. I mean, what is special monism? You don't understand Sanskrit, first of all. Nothing. You say, yeah, Vishishtadvaita, it is also another philosophy, and then you don't, if you have to understand Vishishtadvaita, you have to understand it through a Vishishtadvaitic person. A Vedantin of Vishishtadvaita. I am a very less soul. I am speaking only the things that I know through my Acharya's grace. I have a lot to learn and I don't claim that I know everything. If I have done any mistakes, Ramanuja, please, Acharya, correct me. Okay. But what I am speaking with conviction here. So anyway, and other thing is right now there is this fun, right? Oh my God, there is this movie, it seems, right? I mean, it kind of talks about not limiting yourself to the idol worship, right? There are a lot of these people who question, why do you go and stand in that queue in Tirupati, 3 hours to see that God? Have you ever experienced the beauty of the Lord? I ask you. I mean, if you can't see, first of all, what is idol worship, right? I mean, I'll describe these 5 forms later, right? Even if you consider it as a means, according to Ramanuja, it is the end. Right? And according to Vishishtadvaitins, there is nothing beyond that. Even in the Paramapadam, he describes the beautiful form of the Lord. I mean, he is everywhere. He can take any form. Can't he take those forms? Ramanuja clearly says, all these are true. These forms are existing. The Chaturbhujakara of Lord Narayana, the beautiful form. Right? So yes, he is there everywhere in and around. Narasimha Avatara describes that. Narasimha Avatara is an answer to all those who thinks of themselves as the supreme. I'll cut you into pieces. Like he cut Hiranyakashipu. I am everywhere. I can come from anywhere. That is the answer. Anyway. So, unfortunately, all these nowadays people, that they said that, it seems they have taken the real meaning of Vedas and they say idol worship is not there in the Vedas. I mean, the Agama Shastra, though they don't even know its history, right? In a temple, an idol is consecrated through the Vedic mantras, through the Agama Shastras. And then the divine power is invited into it, and that Lord blesses you in that beautiful form before you. Yes, He is there in everything before you. In this phone which I am recording, He is there. But do you always perceive that? If you can perceive that, that's great. He is not just within you. Purnamidam Purnamada. He is there everywhere. You should learn to see Him not just inside, outside also. Nowadays, through this yoga and all these people kind of, there has become a fashion that, okay, inside only, there is nothing outside. This whole creation, it's not Midhya according to Vishishtadvaita. It is a beautiful form of Lord. So when I go to Tirumala, if somebody asks me, he's such a beautiful Lord, he's my kid. Are you telling me, don't go to my kid? You consider me a fool, that's fine. I don't care, right? I don't care. I am no less than all these Neo-Vedantins or these new gurus who don't even understand everything. They have good English and then they speak, right? In one of those yogic sessions that I attended, somebody was telling that, okay, you develop this attitude of thanking. But need not be, right? I mean, need not be God. Something, anything you thank. Why kind of introduce kids to the concept of God? Just let them thank anything. Karta dharta sab wo hai tumhara. Because of him you are existing. You don't understand that and you preach shit to kids. You don't even understand Vedas. You haven't bothered to even read a single word of Vedas or Upanishads. Whichever philosophy you follow, that's fine. But you don't try to understand it. Nothing. Just sit and speak whatever comes to your mind, whatever logic you want to speak. If you want to speak logic, I can also speak that more than you, right? So all this people are there, right? So coming back to, for you to perceive that beautiful form, he has taken that he himself is that material boss of that idol. He himself is that beautified idol. It's not because you got him, you prepared him, he became. He gave that power to the hands of the sculpture. Through that sculpture, he created himself, the sculpture of all the worlds. And he stays before that beautiful form as a kid to you, Archavatara. So what are these 5 forms that Ramanuja explains? The Purnamidam Purnamada Shloka, actually coincidentally I speak it or actually recite it at the end of my yoga practice, yoga session every day. And different philosophers or different people have different interpretations of it. Let it be, okay? Fine. But what according to Vishishtadvaita is that saying? First of all, let me describe those 5 forms, right? Purnamidam, Para, the 5 forms of the Supreme Lord are Para, Vyuha, Vibhava, Antaryami, Archavatara. Para is the Paravasudeva, or whichever name you want to give him. He is above everything. He is beyond anything. He cannot be understood by scriptures or through anything, nothing. Right? There is this Upanishadic statement, Yame Vaisha Grunate Tena Labhyaha. And to only him he shows his form. So, that Para Vasudeva, who is beyond anything, who is out of the reach of senses, mind, intellect, scriptures, everything, he comes one level down as Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha in these 4 forms. These are called as the Vyuha forms. Described as the Lord reclining in the Milky Ocean. He comes and he is now visible to the sages and all out there. And what are these Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, all these forms? These are the forms that are doing the micro level creation, maintenance and destruction. At the macro level, there are different gods that you call Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, who are creating this destruction and all. But through them, that Paramapurusha, Narayana, he is the one who is doing everything at the micro level. Okay? Again, I am speaking as per the Ramanuja Darshana. You are free to, follow whatever you want to. I respect all those other darshanas or the methodologies of worship. So, but in the Vyuha form, he is visible to the sages and all, and he is in the form of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. And then the third level is the Vibhava avatars, or the incarnations of that God. As the Dashavataras you can take, or many other avatars in which he came out as sages, as our acharyas, to this earth to bless us. And then the fourth is the Antaryami. Yes, he is there within you. Ramanuja talks about 3 realities, Prakriti, Jivatman and Paramatman. These 3 are together, always together. That is the meaning of Vishishtadvaita. Vishishtadvaita does not mean special monism. I don't know from where they got this word. I was also deluded by this, okay, until I learned the correct meaning from my Acharya. Vishishta in Sanskrit means being together. So there, before creation, now, that Paramatma, first of all, is always together with the Chit and Achit. Ramanuja explains at the beginning of Vedartha Sangraha, his commentary on the Vedas, the meanings of the Vedas. Ashesha Chidachit Vastu Sheshine, Sheshashayine, Nirmala Ananta Kalyana Nidhaye, Vishnave Namaha. Ashesha Chidachit Vastu Sheshine. He is the Sheshi of this innumerable Chit and Achit, the Prakriti and the Jivatmas. So these three, he is always together with the Prakriti and the Jivatmas, the innumerable Jivatmas. It is nothing that I have to go and join him somewhere through some process of yoga. Yes, Kaivalya is also explained in Vishishtadvaita, but Kaivalya, just enjoying yourself, thinking that it's everything, that is given a corner place in the Paramapadam. As compared to those that enjoy the beauty of the Lord, the Paramapurusha, not limiting to their own self, they enjoy this vastness of his creation, his beautiful form in the Paramapadam. That is called as the actual salvation, or whatever name you want to give. Paramapadam, the highest state of being. Kaivalya, through which, that is also respected, but it's given a corner place in the Paramapadam as per Vishishtadvaitas. If you don't want to agree, that's fine. If Kaivalya is your goal, please follow that. Okay? It's not easy. Kaivalya is also not easy, right? Not considering yourself as this body, going beyond that and being with your own self and realizing yourself. Anyway, so he talks about three. Vishishtadvaita talks about three realities. Vishishta Advaita. What is Advaita? The unchanging nature of that Supreme Lord now in this creation and then before the creation or after the creation. What is that unchanging nature? Vishishta. He is Vishishta. Chidachid Vishishta. He is together always with the Prakriti and the Jivas, the souls. Paramatma is always together with the Prakriti and the Jivatmas. So this togetherness is being talked about by Vishishtadvaita. So that Paravasudeva is also your Antaryami, that is the fourth state. He is your indweller. There is this body, there is this soul, individual soul, and this all is being supported with him inside it. He thought and he gave forms to these beings so that they can reduce their karma. Fine, if you consider yourself as that supreme one and all, there is a huge philosophical discussion out there, whichever you want to follow that. I don't consider myself God. Then I can't explain to myself there are, Saptavidha Anupapattis or inconsistencies that Sri Ramanuja pointed out. Why am I bound to this karma if I am the Paramatma? Why am I suffering here? Anyway, so the reason I am quoting all of this is that I keep people kind of bombarding me with that knowledge that they want to give. Avidya, that, this, that. It is what you follow. What I follow, I am telling. In your view, if you are considering me as at an intermediate state of understanding, that's fine. In my view, you are the same thing. Okay. And again, one thing I would state, whatever I am kind of blasting out here, it's purely mine. What my Acharya says pretty clearly is, worship your own, respect everyone. So I respect every other philosophies, every other thoughts. But the problem is that don't try to, basically, we should not try to force each other. So if you don't want to follow this, you don't have to follow this. Anyway, but you have to know that there is this philosophy which is separate than what you think is, don't try to equate it with your own philosophy. That is unfortunate, right? Today a lot of people come and speak about Ramanuja and his philosophy. What do they know about him? What do they know? Did they read any bit of his philosophy? No. Sri Ramanuja is also talking about Advaita. And for the people of that time, he gave this philosophy to their knowledge. I mean, you meaning that the people of that time were less learned than you? If you want to support your philosophy, you follow your philosophy. Don't try to teach, indulge into another philosophy and talk about it. Okay. So the fourth is anyway, Antaryami, inside, right? Indweller. And then the fifth is Archavatara, the idol. Okay, Sri Ramanuja says idol worship is the highest. Sri Rama himself, as in the shlokas we saw earlier, was doing that idol worship of the first ever Lord's idol form of Sri Ranganatha. So Purnamidam Purnamada, as per Sri Ramanuja's philosophy, you know, different people can interpret it, different acharyas have interpreted it in different ways, that's fine. Purnamidam, here inside this Antaryami, he is complete. He is my support, my Lord, because of whom I am existing. I got this body, I am reducing my karma. I, the Jivatman, I am talking about. It's because of him inside I am able to get this body and form and reduce my karma. Or whatever. He's given me an opportunity. Whether I'm reducing the karma or not is a different thing. He has given me an opportunity to progress further on this path. Purnam idam, Purnam adah. There, that Paravasudeva, beyond anything, before and after, before creation or after destruction, he is complete. That guy is also complete there. Purnat Purnamudachyate. From that complete guy came these Vyuha forms. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. Purnasya Purnamadaya. Of that complete thing, that which is earned is the Vibhava avatars or the incarnations like Rama, Krishna, Narasimha. So from this Vibhava avatars, they were at a particular point in time, right? So if you have to see, Para Vasudeva is not reachable by anyone. Vyuha, the Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, they are only visible to certain sages, who have gone there and praised his chants, as we can see in the Puranas. Then Vibhava avatars or the Ramakrishna, they were limited to a time wherein people, who could see them, sing their praises, right, and fall in love with them. A lot of people didn't believe in them at that point of time, neither they believe in them today. That's a different thing. So that's the other aspect of it. Antaryami, we spoke about it, right? The one within. Is this able, first of all, can you, identify your soul? If something happens to this body, can you just, if this hand is cut right now, can I, who is speaking so much, take it easy? No. There are some great sages, great jnanis, including, people who have followed every philosophy, who have never considered themselves this body, and then they just, lived through the pains of this particular body. There are examples of great Sri Ramana Maharshi and all, who, didn't care about what's happening to their body. They were not even bothered. They were not even feeling that pain. Are we at that state? No. We can't even realize within this body. We can't even feel that soul. We are always suffering. Despite all the knowledge we have, we can't even reach the soul, and we are talking about that Antaryami, who is the indweller of everyone. Yam Atmanam Antare Yamayiti. Yam Atmana Veda. This is what the Vedas say. The one who is within the Atma, the soul, whom the Atma does not know. How do you know then? How can you? So he is the Antaryami. You can't. The fifth is the Archavatara. Archavatara is basically from those Vibhava avataras. The idols representing those Vibhava avataras is what you worship at your home. Purnamidam Purnamada. Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya. Purnameva Avashishyate. Purnameva Avashishyate. That which remains of those Vibhava avatars is nothing but the Archavataras representing those Vibhava avatars. Somebody might have a beautiful idol of Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Lord Ganesh at their home. They are worshipping them with love. But people say, no, this is not. I've been to one temple, Prati Pandarpur here, right? I don't know. I kind of get irritated. There were kind of a man and a woman sitting before that god, that beautiful Vittal form, right? Vittal. And they are speaking about ha nirguna, ha saguna, ha nirguna. You are not, first of all, you are only describing, you first of all, please enjoy the beautiful form of the Lord before you. Learn that is Purna, that is complete. Inside here also he is complete. Somebody says, why are you kind of degrading yourself to an individual consciousness and all? Feel that you are the universal thing. He is within me. He is my Lord. I am not degrading myself. This whole world is mine. Because he is my Lord. He can give me anything. He can take me anything. He can put me anywhere. It is His will. He is my Father. He is my Son. The beautiful Lord here who sits in my home. I have the beautiful idol of Sri Ranganatha along with Mother. Whenever I am in pain, whenever I am happy, whenever I have success, I sit before Him and my Lord. To me, they are my kids. And yes, they are kids. For anybody who is worshipping those idols at his home or in a temple along with everyone else, temple is for the society, home is for you. Those beautiful kids are waiting for you to open their doors, feed them something. Many a times I am guilty of finishing my breakfast without giving him food because I have office, right? Yes, that is also his worship. So we need to do that, definitely. But many a times I kind of, he waits for me. That poor fellow. When I open the door, same smile, beautiful smile. Have you ever experienced this beauty? You go to the temple. I stood in that Ativardhar queue when Ativardhar was taken out for 41 days. Such a beautiful form he is. Beautiful Lord. Directly manifestation of the Lord who appeared to Brahma. A lot of people don't believe it, right? They say that, that whatever I see, that is the only thing. And the followers or the Astikas, they actually believe in the Pramanas also, the Agamas. The Agamas talk about the worship of the Lord, Pancharatra Agama, Vaikhanasa Agama, the Vaikhanasa Agama, the Vaishnava Agamas. They are talking about the worship of the Lord. Here in Ramayana, it's an Itihasa, your history, our history. It is talking about how Lord Rama worshipped that Narayana. I am not saying I am great or whatever. I get just irritated and frustrated. And this is my channel. I am free to express my views. Whoever has to buy them, please buy them. Otherwise, no. The world is filled up with a lot of people who are talking about spiritual. What is it? Religious versus spiritual. If you do worship, if you sit before an idol, it is religious. Otherwise, if you just, that get a brush and then sit like this and then that is spiritual. Life has to be both. You worship Him as your kid. But when you go out, you should treat everyone like that only. Everyone, you should be able to see that God within them. This is an end, that is an end. Don't say this is an end towards that or that is an end towards this. He is everywhere. He is everywhere, complete in every aspect. He can take any form. Ramanuja says, he gives a beautiful meaning to Nirguna or Saguna. Saguna is basically, that he is full of beautiful divine qualities. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Even if you take that statement, they are qualities. What are you saying? You say that and then you say nothing. Nothing exists. Anantam, infinite he is. Even if you have to take those three qualities. In Ramayana, Valmiki asks Narada, show me a person with these many qualities. He says Rama. That is Saguna, beyond, beautiful qualities, complete in every respect. Again, Purnam, in every beautiful quality, in Sayujam, Saulabhyam, as your Lord, as your idol, as your kid there sitting as the idol, as your dad. He's complete, he's before you, waiting for you to clean him. Whenever you give him bath, after months together, I have given bath, last festival during Diwali. Now I am giving him bath during Ugadi. He's fine. I take bath every day. That poor fellow sits there. Many a times in many homes, after some generation is gone, the next generations have given up on that. He is okay with that also. Right? He is everywhere. Worship Him everywhere. Within you, outside this world, in those beautiful forms. Saguna. Nirguna. What is Nirguna means? Not having qualities, people say. But why are you kind of rushing towards, merging into something, nothingness? Anyway, if you want to follow that, that's fine. I respect it. But don't preach it to me. Nirguna means Nikhila Heya Pratyanika. He is without the qualities that we possess. The greed, avarice, lust, anger, selfishness, ego is beyond these. That's what Ramanuja explains. How can he be without quality? Knower, knowing, all these are qualities. There is only knowledge, consciousness, that's it, and then nothing else, right? If you want to consider it like that, consider it. Everything sprouted out of him. All these qualities are his. They sprouted out of him. All this is his manifestation. He takes it into that unknown form. Unknown to you. It doesn't mean that he has become Nirguna. You should read Mahabharata. When sage Markandeya explains, Markandeya Maharshi explains to Pandavas and everyone out there in the presence of Lord Krishna what he saw after the destruction, because he was a Chiranjeevi, he was immortal, he could live beyond the destruction. The Lord Narayana takes him inside his body and shows him everything. He sees that Lord lying on that small leaf at the end of destruction with his thumb of his feet in his mouth like a kid. Then the Lord he asks him, who are you? The Lord takes him inside and shows him everything. And then Markandeya Maharshi, he says, he is none other than this one standing before you, this Krishna. And Krishna is silently watching. He is full of all the divine qualities. He shows the full creation to Markandeya Maharshi once he goes inside him. Because you don't see it, you cannot say nothing exists. Anyway, so coming back to Lord Sri Ranganatha, you should visit if you want to visit Tiruchirappalli. Visit it's a beautiful temple, big temple, a great gigantic gopuram. In those days the temples were basically people where societies thrived, they lived. Temples were actually they were not just just places of worship. They were providing food, shelter, education, and controlling the whole economy of that particular of those people of that society who lived there. Today all that thing is destroyed. Endowments have taken over temples. A lot of temples are being destroyed. God doesn't get food, no worship, right? Government has taken over these things, and then they have only few temples are still thankfully getting their the Lord is getting something out there. Visit Sri Ranganatha, beautiful Lord. I have my own personal experiences with him. Fantastic Lord, great Lord of the worlds, and he is my kid, Sri Ranganatha. A beautiful Lord. Once you get lost in his eyes, there are stories about people who got lost in his eyes. Such a beautiful guy, beautiful Lord, happily reclining on the there is a story of Sri Parashara Bhattar who followed Sri Ramanuja, and Sri Rangam is the core center from which Sri Ramanuja propagated his own his philosophy, and then the Vishishtadvaita philosophy. And make no mistake, a lot of people think that Vishishtadvaita philosophy started with Sri Ramanuja. No, Sri Ramanuja was one of the prominent preachers or the gurus of that philosophy. There were many before him, and Sri Rangam was that sacred place from which God propagated this philosophy through these great acharyas. Sri Parashara Bhattar, who is a follower of Sri Ramanuja, he used to walk through this. I heard this story from my acharya. He used to walk very slowly doing pradakshinam of the temple. Huge temple it is. Even now, after it has been encroached by a lot of shops and all, it is still huge. Imagine what it could have been on the banks of Kaveri. There is a beautiful stotram of Sri Ranganatha that I recite daily. We'll go through it sometime later. So Sri Parashara Bhattar is walking through this sanctum through the whole, he's doing a pradakshinam, circumambulation of the temple, and he walks very slowly, imagining every stone out there to be a form of a soul who has taken a form of that stone, just to lie there and experience the dust of the feet of the devotees, experience God and the great acharyas. That stone is so fortunate, right? Lord goes out in the Utsava as a Utsava Murti through those streets. Great acharyas step on those stones. So he imagines and experiences God everywhere, and he walks very slowly. He sees the devotees, the great devotees of the Lord occupy, and the great acharyas, great alvars, spread all around the temple in those stones, pillars, mandapams, everywhere. He experiences the devotion and he walks very slowly, and other onlookers who are kind of just finishing they have this 108 pradakshinams to do for that day. They are just walking fast, and they see him and think that why is this guy walking so slowly? They don't experience this. Neither we can experience that, but at least on the day of the birth of Lord Ranganatha, the first idol form of the Supreme Lord, I just wanted to state this. I wanted to create this for a very long time, but this would be a great opportunity. Any mistakes that I made, please, I would pray to my Acharya, to Sri Ramanuja, to please forgive me. Jai Sriman Narayana, Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha, Srimad Varavarmane Namaha, Sri Hayagriva Parabrahmane Namaha, Sri Goda Ranganatha Parabrahmane Namaha.